They call her the daughter of Brock Lesnar,
On it. Space.
but not by blood,
Tap here from Kayla.
by savagery.
Is the tap.
She didn't inherit a legacy. She shattered it and built her own with fists.
Oh, she has a
Kayla Harrison has arrived, and with her a new era that doesn't ask permission. It takes over.
Going with the body shot. But a takedown.
Two-time Olympic gold medalist in judo, undefeated champion in the PFL, and now in the fiercest cage on the planet, the UFC. She's turned the octagon into her personal kingdom. Every takedown is an explosion with a name and surname. Every submission, a surgical execution without mercy. Every step she takes is a warning that doesn't need to be shouted. It's felt in your bones. Kayla Harrison doesn't fight. She imposes. She doesn't compete. She conquers. She's a storm with total control over chaos. This isn't the rise of a star. This is the beginning of a brutal reign. The ground doesn't shake. It roars. Her opponents don't make game plans. They make excuses. And the world of MMA has just been claimed by its new empress. And if you still don't believe it, just wait, because this is just the beginning. But before continuing, subscribe to help us reach 1,000 subscribers. Kayla Harrison was born on July 2nd, 1990 in Middletown, Ohio, and was introduced to judo by her mother at an early age. By the age of 15, she had already won national championships, but her path was marked by personal challenges that led her to move to Boston to train with Jimmy Pedro, a legendary American judoka. Her talent led her to win 2 Olympic gold medals in London 2012 and Rio 2016, becoming the first American to achieve this feat in judo. Following her success on the mat, she decided to make the leap to mixed martial arts, MMA, debuting in PFL in 2018, where she dominated the lightweight division and was crowned champion for multiple seasons. In 2024, she signed with the UFC, where she quickly rose through the ranks in the bantamweight division. At UFC 316, she submitted Juliana Pena with a second-round Kimura, becoming the new 135-pound champion. Now, with her sights set on the top, she has challenged Amanda Nunes, who could return to face her in a historic fight. Kayla Harrison made her MMA debut on June 21, 2018 at PFL 2, where she faced Brittany Elkin. From the moment the bell rang, Kayla Harrison made it clear that her transition from judo to MMA was not a simple experiment, but the birth of a new force in the octagon.
Went to war for a while. Amanda beat her up a bit. Amanda came to
wants to be. Come in here and get her hands.
On the ground, her dominance was absolute. Control, pressure, and fluid transition, as if she were in her natural element.
Softening her up with some punches.
Elkin's Harrison's looking for that chill.
Yep, she cannot put her chin up.
In less than a round, Kayla secured the mount and punished with ground and pound before isolating the arm and locking in a brutal American hold. The fight ended as quickly as it began. A first-round submission.
Posed, working it. Here it is. There it is.
And it's over.
In August 2018, Kayla Harrison entered the octagon at PFL 6. With just one professional fight under her belt, she faced Josette Cotton, a seasoned fighter with striking power and a defiant attitude. From the first round, Kayla imposed her pace, taking the fight to the ground with impeccable projection and controlling her opponent's every move.
Going with the body shot. But a takedown.
That was a nice.
As the rounds progressed, Harrison's pressure became suffocating. Relentless ground and pound, fluid transitions, and calculated aggression made the difference.
Well, fence prevented her from getting into full position.
Kayla now, ground and pound.
By the third round, the story was written. A TKO via ground strikes, making it clear that her rise in MMA was not a possibility, but a certainty.
Teeing off. It is all.
Harrison had devastated the competition. Victory after victory, submitting and punishing her opponents with her relentless judo and ground pressure. Now, on the big night of December 31st, 2019, she had the opportunity to be crowned the first lightweight champion in PFL history. Kayla Harrison versus Larissa Pacheco 2. The story between Kayla Harrison and Larissa Pacheco didn't begin with this fight. They had already faced each other at PFL 1 in 2019, where Harrison dominated with her grappling and took the victory by unanimous decision. But this time, the scenario was different. The lightweight title was on the line. From the first round, Kayla imposed her rhythm, taking the fight to the ground with precise takedowns and absolute control.
Inside trip, nice inside trip.
Pacheco tried to resist, but every escape attempt was stifled by Harrison's pressure. Round after round, history repeated itself.
Timeout. This is going to get worse and worse for Pacheco. She's got to find a way out.
Total dominance, fluid transitions, and impeccable strategy. At the end of 5 rounds, there was no doubt. Kayla Harrison won by unanimous decision, becoming the first EFL female lightweight champion. In October 2019, Kayla Harrison faced Bobby Joe Dalziel in the PFL 2019 fight. Dalziel arrived confidently, looking to neutralize Harrison's grappling and keep the fight on the feet. However, from the outset, Kayla imposed her rhythm, closing the distance and taking the fight to the ground with impeccable projection.
Guys are out the window. They're hard to do. But you've got to imagine at the weight class that Kayla...
Once on the mat, the outcome was inevitable. Total control, constant pressure, and fluid transitions.
On top. Bobby Joe's got to get Kayla down.
Harrison worked methodically until she isolated Dalziel's arm and locked in a perfect armbar, forcing her opponent to submit at 3 minutes and 32 seconds of the first round.
Down on her hips.
There's the armbar. Here comes it. Bobby Joe Diaz flips over. Coming out. And there's the...
On August 19, 2021, Kayla Harrison entered the octagon in the PFL 2021 lightweight semifinals on a mission to reaffirm her dominance. Her opponent, Gina Fabian, was a striking specialist with a background in Muay Thai. From the outset, Harrison closed the distance, nullifying any attempt by Fabian to keep the fight on the feet. With impeccable projection, she took the action to the ground and unleashed a barrage of punches from mount.
Just staying patient, kind of chip away with little short.
They're looking to change directions.
Lands in side control, Kayla. Jenna Fabian in a tough spot. Can't get her hips back.
Forcing the referee to stop the fight at 4 minutes and 1 second of the first round. This victory not only advanced her to the PFL 2021 finals, but also reaffirmed her dominance in the lightweight division.
In big trouble here.
Each fight was a step closer to consecration, and this was one of the most convincing on her path to the title. This is how she would reach a new final. On October 27, 2021, Kayla Harrison entered the octagon in the 2021 PFL Grand Finale, with the opportunity to defend her lightweight title and take her second consecutive championship. Her rival, Taylor Guardado, had shocked the world by reaching the finals after just 5 professional fights. From the first second, Kayla Harrison made it clear that this fight would not be a war, but a methodical execution.
Nice inside trip by
Underneath, one of the best ground and pound artists.
Guardado tried to hold her ground, but Harrison's pressure was suffocating. Takedown after takedown, absolute control on the ground, impeccable transitions. The first round was a demonstration of power. Harrison took the fight to the ground with ease, punishing with ground and pound and securing dominant positions.
Mouth, but look, those flurries from... Oh!
Nice little foot wheel.
Guardado resisted, but each escape attempt was neutralized with surgical precision. In the second round, history repeated itself. Harrison closed the distance, took the fight to the ground, and, as if writing the final chapter of an inevitable story, attacked with a perfect armbar, Guardado tried to resist, but the pressure was unbearable. 4 minutes into the second round, the fight ended.
Here's the armbar.
Here comes the armbar attempt, Kayla Harrison. There it is, and there's the tap.
Kayla Harrison retained her PFL lightweight title and took home the $1 million prize. But not everything was rosy. On November 25, 2022, Kayla Harrison entered the octagon with the intention of defending her legacy and conquering her third PFL title. Up until that moment, her dominance had been absolute. Undefeated, a two-time champion, and considered unstoppable in the lightweight division. But that night, the story took an unexpected turn. Her rival, Larissa Pacheco, had already faced Harrison twice before, losing both times by unanimous decision. From the first round, Pacheco showed that she would not be another victim, defending takedowns and punishing with precise strikes.
Oh, look at that, beautiful.
Big left again from Kayla.
As the rounds progressed, the fight became a war of attrition. Harrison continued to look for control on the ground, but Pacheco responded aggressively, connecting with hard blows and threatening submissions.
Pacheco in a southpaw stance, kicks the legs out from under Harrison.
And then
Oh! Big There's a single leg attempt here.
In the fourth and fifth rounds, the Brazilian began to take control, neutralizing takedown attempts and punishing with her striking. When the final bell rang, the result was in the judges' hands. For the first time in her career, Kayla Harrison had been defeated. Larissa Pacheco won by unanimous decision, becoming the new PFL Women's Lightweight Champion and pulling off one of the biggest upsets in the organization's history. This loss marked a turning point in Harrison's career. She was no longer invincible, no longer untouchable, but like any great champion, losses didn't define her, they propelled her. Kayla Harrison's arrival in the UFC wasn't a sudden move, but the result of years of dominance in the world of martial arts. Instead of staying in the PFL, she decided to make the definitive jump out to the UFC in 2024, dropping down to the bantamweight division to prove that her dominance could transcend organizations. On April 13, 2024, the octagon at UFC 300 became the scene of a historic transition. From the first round, Harrison imposed her rhythm, closing the distance with precision and nullifying Holmes' dangerous striking. The veteran tried to keep the fight on the feet, but Kayla's pressure was relentless. A perfect takedown, a fluid transition, and absolute control on the ground marked the beginning of her dominance. In the second round, Harrison found the opening she needed. She took the back, secured the rear naked choke, and secured the submission in 1 minute and 47 seconds, forcing Holmes to tap out. With this victory, Kayla Harrison made her UFC debut with a dominant performance, making it clear that her grappling remains a threat at the sport's elite. Their second meeting would be on October 5, 2024. After her dominant debut at UFC 300, where she submitted Holly Holm, she now faced Ketlin Vieira, a Brazilian fighter with extensive experience in the category and a style based on grappling and control in the clinch. From the first round, Kayla Harrison showed her evolution. Instead of looking for the immediate takedown, she worked striking with precise combinations, forcing Vieira to react. When she found the opening, she closed the distance and took the fight to the ground with an impeccable projection. Vieira tried to resist, defending with technique and looking for opportunities to counterattack. However, Harrison maintained absolute control, punishing with ground and pound and securing dominant positions. Throughout the 3 rounds, the fight became a tactical battle. Vieira showed her toughness, but Harrison showed that his game was evolving beyond pure grappling. In the end, the judges had no doubts. A unanimous decision victory for Kayla Harrison, who is now inching closer to the top of the division. Each victory was a step closer to the top. But the true test wasn't in the tournaments she'd already won, but on the world's most prestigious stage, the UFC. To get here, she had to reinvent herself, drop down a weight class, and prove that her grappling could hold its own against the best in bantamweight. Holly Holm fell. Ketlen Vieira held on, but not long enough. Now, in front of her was Juliana Pena, the woman who dethroned Amanda Nunes, the champion who feared no one. From the first round, Harrison imposed her rhythm, closing the distance with precision and taking the fight to the ground with impeccable projection. Pena, known for her resilience and aggression, tried to defend herself, but Kayla's pressure was suffocating. Every escape attempt was neutralized, every move calculated with surgical precision. In the second round, Harrison found the opening she needed. She isolated Pena's arm, locked in the Kimura, and applied brutal pressure. Pena held on, but the pain was unbearable. At 3 minutes and 12 seconds into the second round, the champion tapped out. With this victory, Kayla Harrison became the new UFC bantamweight champion, cementing her place in the sport's history. From PFL to UFC, from prospect to legend, her reign is just beginning. From her days on the mat to her reign in the UFC, Kayla Harrison has proven that greatness isn't a destination, but a path forged through discipline, sacrifice, and absolute dominance. Her aggressive style, imposing physique, and ability to crush opponents with her grappling have led many to compare her to Brock Lesnar, even calling her his spiritual daughter in the fight world. Today, with the UFC bantamweight belt in her possession, her story continues to be written. If you'd like to see more of his fights, don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss out on upcoming stories and fights. See you in the next video.